Hello, just welcome to everybody. Thank you so much. Nice to see all of you. Our agenda says we're going to start out with employee introductions, and I thought we might let everybody finish getting their ice cream and let the screen do the introductions for the most part. But are any of our new employees here in the room today? Could I get you to stand up and tell us your name? I mean, obviously they can probably match you up to the picture at this point, but please do. Thank you. Can we maybe start over there?
Melissa Madison, Special Programs and Services Counselor. Melissa Church, Student Success Advisor.
everybody. So normally Dr. Bag is here, she's out of town right now, and she usually starts out with a few announcements. And since I work on the business side and I spend a lot of time kind of looking at numbers and, doing the Bob Cratchit thing with my candle burning down and the paper rolling off the other side of the desk, thought I'd let you know a few things that are business related, that are exciting, and a few, well, actually they pretty much all are. First thing is check out the automated doors at the front of the administration building. They're very cool. If you haven't had an opportunity, it's kind of like when you walk into the grocery store and you walk up and it just automatically opens and closes. Wonderful. It's great. And they close all the way. So, yeah. I also want to let you know our desert garden is really getting spruced up in anticipation of the Waterwise Festival that's going to be here on campus on October 20th. It's starting to really look good. So it's a nice little path out through that way, and there's some places to sit down. And if you haven't taken a stroll out that way, it's really worth it. I was really surprised to see how well it cleans up and it looks really inviting. It's a really nice spot. So you should check that out if you haven't already done that. And let's see, for those of you who are no doubt fascinated by this sort of thing, we finalized our annual financial and budget report a day and a half early. And just speaking of numbers, CTE, I just wanted to give them their props here because they're bringing in over $1 million worth of funding this year. So see, you had no idea that business and finance was that interesting, did you? So at this point here, I am going to turn this over to Ms. Joanne Garcia. She's going to talk to you about Associated Student Government.
So can we have the ASG officers and members come up here, please? Do we have a student trustee here at the college? Okay, so today I want to start off to say, this is why we're here at Barstow College. It's our passion, we're in education, and we're here to lead. We're here to lead the students of America. And I believe these are our new leaders for this year. They have developed a brochure. They're in the middle of the brochure now. We've completed all the activities for retention. They had things every week, Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, and they completed that task. And now we're moving on to November and December. And I believe October has a whole bunch of activities, but I wanted them to tell you who they are and about what they do before Alofa presents her PowerPoint.
Can y'all hear me? Yes, okay. Hello, my name is Olafemi Alisara. I'm the ASG Vice President and ICC President. That was my position. What I do here, my job is to serve the students. A little thing about me, I recently graduated from Barstow High School in May, so it's a whole new experience for me. I love working with a lot of faculty and staff and everything that ASG has been doing ever since I started. Salute to everyone, to all the students that came and support us, and I hope that this will be a good year with us as your ASG president. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Carissa Vilas. I work in the President Person. I'm also an ASU Senator. And my role is to get some of the input from students and see what we can do. Should I start from the beginning? Okay. My name is Carissa Vilas, and I am an ASU Senator. My role is to get some of the input from the students and find out what they want us to do more of, what they think we should do, what we're not doing right, or things like that. And then I also work in the Transfer and Career Center, so I get to help a lot of students in their transfer pathways. And so that's me.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jonathan Robles. I am the Associated Student Government Secretary. That means I compose and compose the minutes and agendas for every meeting that we have. And I am also the one taking down everything that is said and making sure that it's accessible to public record 72 hours before the meeting is posted up. I am also, this is my 4th year here. I've done and worked in with several clubs on campus, including Callboard. I've worked the soundboard up there once. I've done shows in here. I've also been involved with crew, and my current involvement is helping PTK and AGS get back on their feet.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah. I'm Itzel Jimenez, and I'm the ASG treasurer. I deal with all the purchase orders for the college, and I'm also the voice for the students. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Colton Miller. I am one of the senators here on campus. I am here for the students. I'm also the VP for Callboard. I have been doing a lot of stuff in this building since this building ever started. That's all about me.
Good afternoon. My name is Fabian Villa. I am student trustee here. My role as a student trustee is to bring the student needs to the board and hopefully to create change. I also work in the Student Success and Equity Department as a student ambassador. There where we do we do outreach to the community. Very cool. And lastly, about me, I am undocumented and I finished my associates in December.
All right. Can we give one round of applause for So we're gonna just do a quick overview with what our PowerPoint's about. Our PowerPoint kind of jots down everything that we do in ASG, the service we give, and how we serve our service. One thing that we use a lot is the Barstow Community College app. This app has literally gone far for a lot of our students. If you're on the app, you know that a lot of students, they have 100 questions that they want to ask, and that app has literally been most helpful. And if you don't have the app, it's on Google Play and Apple Store if you don't have it. It's really a good source to have the app. That's where we post all our events. You can know what other departments are doing, and pretty much, yeah, that's the app. Up next, we have our ASG discount card. Can I get a raise of hands who all have a discount card? All right, so does anyone in here know what our ASG discount card does? Anyone? Raise your hand? Discount, all right. I know we all love discounts. Okay, so the discount card, we have 30 vendors in Barstow and 20 in Victorville. How this works with all the different discounts we have, this isn't just for discounts with the vendors. When you have this discount card, all of our events that we have that are coming up, you get free food when you have your discount card, and even free bus transportation with the city bus. So with the city bus, once you have this card, you get free bus transportation all around town, from Victorville back and to the outlets. Oh, as I already explained this, but with the discount card, you get free bus transportation, and this is available for Route 15. If you have any questions on which route, it will be Route 15.
They haven't started that yet.
All right. So another thing that we presented to a lot of our students is the student ID card. If you're a student here or staff, you could get your free student ID card located in the admissions office. As you see, the video is kind of showing you where you could get your ID from. So there's that. Okay. Do we have any questions? No? Yes, sir.
Yeah, you are familiar with the fact that they haven't started the Barstow student yet. told everybody that it's occurring.
I'm sorry, can you speak up?
The 15th,
The bus to Barstow to Victorville, he said it hasn't started yet.
It started last month.
September 1st.
yeah, I know it started. I'm just saying, you said it's already going. I was trying to bring your attention, it's not going until next month. Also, that we have to have the sticker on your ID, because if you don't have the sticker on your ID, then they're not gonna let you ride.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. All right, up next, we have the Viking Grill. The Viking Grill is pretty much our cafeteria. What the Viking Grill serves our students when we were hungry. Also on the Viking Grill, we have the pantry to whichever the EOPS, if it's you guys that do the pantry. We salute you. A lot of students, they love the idea of having the pantry located in the Viking Grill. There's that. And then the ASG pamphlet that we had this fall, this semester, we've had so many events that ASG has put out. We had so much events with a lot of students that came, and we have upcoming events. And with this pamphlet, with our next pamphlet, we ask any departments, if you have any events, to let us know so we could put it on, because this is the pamphlet that we give to students, to staff, to anyone that's interested in knowing what our school does and what we serve the students. Right? And Ms. Joanne Garcia, may you please come up? Do you have any questions?
Well, she's a first-year student from Barstow High School, and to see her speak and then recognize the pantry, and she came out with, I was thinking, does she know who does the pantry? And she does, because she's involved and she's out there as a student. All these students right here are making a difference for our campus. This year, it's a big change that we've had, and a lot of change came from them. It came from Karen Kane, our new VP, just a lot of new ideas across campus. So let's give all A's a hand. Okay, so a new program that I'm excited about is the Student Viking Volunteer Program. I didn't know what that was about until Karen came on campus. Came with new ideas, new energy, everything. And I thought, what is she talking about? So I did some research about a month, and I went to Long Beach and several colleges, and it looks like a lot of the colleges have a volunteer program, and what it is an extension. Not everybody is an ASG, not everybody gets elected to the ASG. So when I heard about this program, I went and read about it, and what it is, it's a volunteer program of our campus. All these students are placed in our community: courthouse, fire department, police department, lawyers, medical field. I had one of the doctors come to me and says, I have room for students and I have scholarship money. And that's what it's all about. They're here for an education. They graduate and go out there and try to find a job, and they don't have anything in their application. Here they're gonna have experience, and they're gonna have recognition on a transcript. And that's a brainstorm of Karen from another school that came to Barstow. So I'm really glad to tackle this program. It won't start for another month. Right now, we're gonna get forms together, recruit students, and find placement in the community. Well, what I do have today is I have 3 students, brand new students from the high school, and they have a testimony to tell you about their experience. They've only been here less than 4 months. They're carrying anywhere 15 to 18 units, but they're here to tell you about this program and what they want to see and where they want to be. So let's have Lucette, Sharari, that's it, right? And Kim. They're going to come forward and they're going to tell you a little bit about they're going to go first. You guys can speak at this mic.
Bend it up.
Yes.
Hi, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shirai Andrade.
I'm Lisette Preciado.
And I'm Kimberly Evans. And me and Lisette are both graduates from Barstow High School, class of 2018.
Throughout high school, we were
Throughout high school, we were in all of the medical-based classes, and we were also a part of HOSA, which stands for Health Occupation Students of America. And that's a club for those who wish to have an occupation in the medical field. And the classes that were offered at the high school were Medical Core 1, Medical Core 2, Sports Medicine, and Intro to Health.
To be more in depth, what these classes were about was learning the basics of medical terminology, learning how the body functions, what are the structures of the body, basically like the basics of anatomy before you go to college and before you need to learn everything about nursing. As new college students, we are here and working on finding our place here at Barstow Community College with the help of Joanne Garcia and the Student Viking Volunteer Program.
We hope to be placed within a medical setting, internship, and possible job placement here in our community and PCC.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Evans, and I'm nowhere near as impressive as going into nursing, but I want to go into theater. I just graduated from Excelsior CTE Academy. I'm 16, and this is my first year at the college full-time, but I've been here since 2016 as a concurrent enrollment student, and I'm actually set to graduate in spring. Like I said, I want to go into theater, so I volunteer with the Callboard Club, and the Viking Volunteer Program has been really useful for me because it makes it to where my transcripts reflects the time and effort I put into theater, I put into the Callboard Club. These are verified hours. You know, you can always tell a college that you've been volunteering, but it's always a little difficult to get them to believe it if you haven't if you volunteer like a crazy amount of hours. I'm sure some of you know. That's really all I have to say. The Viking Volunteer Program. The Viking Volunteer Program was a really good thing to implement for people who are going into careers where experience matters, like theater. Thank you.
Okay, like they said, they're gonna get transcript recognition, and Kimberly is in the training field of acting. So I'm hearing from Hollywood that they take students from colleges that want to be in the audience, so that's something we can tap you into. So you get next to the movie stars and actors, that'll be up your field. The girls, we already have a place for you in the doctor's offices in Barstow. They promise scholarships in the medical field for our students that are going to be placed in the community. So it's a awesome outreach idea for Barstow. You know, I did outreach for many years just recruiting high school students, but this is the best outreach. I'm not saying it's the best over the Promise program or anything. It's just our students are placed all over the community. And when they see them, they're a testimony, and they might recruit another office worker or someone that's out there in the community, seeing their energy and their excitement. So it's a good outreach opportunity for Barstow, something new that I haven't done. So I'm excited to work with all the others and bring our students into the fold, not just through clubs or ASG. So I'd like to thank Karen for bringing this idea to Barstow College, because I would never think of something like that. But if you really think about this, next year, you're gonna have students all over our community. And it's exciting. It's exciting for me to do something different. So I'm excited to put them out there in different agencies in Barstow, even if they want to shadow any of our programs or our staff on campus. When they do graduate, like you said, are you 16 years old? And you're gonna graduate in May? That's awesome. You know, I've seen her around campus at CTE, I know for at least 4 years. And I thought, wow, to hear her story and her acting and just the way she presented, all the students that are going to come through the program, they're going to come your way. You're going to see them. They'll have shirts identifying themselves with name tags. So some of them want to be teachers, actors, nursing. We may not have the nursing program here, but guess what they're going to get? Experience at the hospital, the doctor's offices, everywhere. So they're going to have experience behind the belt, behind that degree that they get from us. So all of us should be proud that in education, we're going to see students come through our doors soon. So thank you, everybody, and thank you, Karen, for this awesome idea. I don't have an agenda, so I don't know who's next.
Okay, well.
All right.
Yes, you get the clicker. You are honorable clicker.
The new formula funding, the student-focused formula funding. Now, I'm going to start this out by telling you about a professor I had in my undergraduate program. He taught physics, and I was really, really bad at physics. But he would come in, and on the days when there was a really horrible formula to be learned or some concept that was really out there, he would say, okay, look, just take a deep breath, everybody, because I know it looks complicated when you're first seeing it. But when you're done, you're going to say, what a gift. Right? So I've always remembered that. Right? So when we're done, you're going to say, what a gift. All right? Let me show you how this is going to work. So the new funding formula, this is intended to address our students that are not being as successful as we would like them to be. It's intended to really focus on outcomes, improve time for them to complete, improve the likelihood that they'll complete, and also to address some achievement gaps that we still are seeing. Historically, for at least the last 10 or 15 years anyway, I think, in the system, the colleges have been funded just based on headcount pretty much, FTES, that's really what mattered. So the more students you have, the more money you get, vice versa. And it wasn't particularly effective in terms of outcomes for students, and so there's been a lot of focus on outcome-oriented funding. And in fact, this is kind of a national trend. Probably 2/3 of the states in the United States have already implemented, and I think everybody else, if they haven't, they're looking at it. So this is kind of the theme right now in higher education, trying to get that focus more on student success. Whoops, missed one. So the other thing about this formula is it's intended to align with the chancellor's goals. So he's got his vision for success, which is on the internet if you haven't had a chance to take a look at that. And it gives additional resources in the places that are thought to be the most effective in terms of, again, student outcomes, student success. Basic formula. Here's what it breaks down to. There are 3 components. There's a base allocation, which is still kind of FTES right now. The supplemental, which you might want to think of as equity, is what we've thought of as equity in the past. And then the student success allocation part, which a lot like it sounds, the student success part. They're weighted differently, and this is just this year's weighting. So for this year, 70% is based on headcount. Then 20% is based on that equity piece, trying to look at what those issues are with achievement gaps and that kind of thing. And then 10% is based on student outcomes in terms of measurable success, getting degrees, certificates, that kind of thing. So looking at each component in its own little box here so that you can understand what they're each made of. The first component, that 70% base allocation, there's like a specific formula. In fact, every single piece of this has a very specific formula, so you can sit down and calculate this out if you wanted to. I have a spreadsheet. It's beautiful if anybody wants to see it. But it is $1 per FTE, and it depends on the sort of course the students are taking, what kind of funding that we have. So you can see here, credit is $3,727, non-credit is $3,347, and then our concurrent students, like our student here that just talked with us, is $5,457. Another piece of this is the special allocation component, that equity piece we talked about. And that is an amount per student for those students that have the old BOG waiver, which is now called the California Promise Grant, AB 540 students, and then Pell recipients. Now this is where it gets really fun. Okay, this is the 10%. I think there's a slide later on, but I'm going to go ahead and do a spoiler and tell you now that the percentages are changing. They're not going to stay 70, 20, 10. Next year, it'll be shifting to, I think it's 65. Anyway, they'll be shifting. But for this year, 10% of the formula is based on these outcomes. Now, the point structure, I believe, will probably stay in place for at least the next 3 years. So what you're looking at is what kind of degree or what kind of certificate are students attempting to achieve? And then actually we get the funding when they do achieve it. So this is outcome based. This is not just that the student enrolled, this is when the student achieves it. You get the heaviest weighting, I suppose, is for an associate degree for transfer. So this is useful information because it tells us maybe we should look and see how many of those programs we have. Do we have associate degree programs right now that could become associate degrees for transfer? I am totally out of my lane right now talking about academic stuff that other people are better at, but the concept makes sense, right? So this is the dollar value and the point weighting for each of these different kinds of achievement goals that our students might have. Then, oh, I messed up. Hang on, I missed a part. I did it in red, but you can't see it. Okay, underline all students. Okay, all students get this. Every single one of our students, this is the basis. Then on top of that, and it can be stacked. So if we have all students there, and then we have students who also have Pell, we get both allocations for these students. So it's, again, the weighting, number of points, and then the dollar amount for each one of these kinds of academic achievements that they're attempting. Everybody's good so far? You got the idea? This is really, it's kind of a lot of information, but it's also kind of beautiful because if you can see all the parts, you know exactly how you got there. So I like it. And then the final piece, this is another component, the last component of the student success allocation. This is the part for Promise Grant recipients. And this again stacks. So if somebody was Pell, Promise, and then also a student, you could potentially, the college could potentially have revenue associated with all three of those characteristics from that student. So this is how the weighting is right now. And what this meant for us, because, you know, we have our population of students is, we do a little bit more support than some other colleges do. And the beauty of this formula is that it recognizes when colleges are putting in that additional effort to support their students. So what this means for us this fiscal year is $3,379,934 increase in our budget allocation over last year. This is huge. We have the 5th highest amount of money increased in the whole system. So out of everybody, you know, 113 other schools, we're number 5 in terms of funding. So we really, really were recognized for the work that we're doing here. We're really given the tools to continue the work that we're doing here. And most other schools didn't see anything at all like this. And some schools actually saw a decrease. And I started out by saying that whenever I would go to a chief business officer's meeting, I would kind of keep a low profile because most everybody around me would be complaining and I was just trying not to smile too big, you know? But now I've come to the realization that, you know what, this is about how good we are at what we're doing and the dedication that we have to the students. And so I decided I'm going to own it from now on. I'm not going to try and keep my head down. I'm going to walk in and So, we kind of have already alluded to this slide, but really what this does is it gives us a chance to be strategic, to continue the work that we're doing, to focus on the areas and maybe a little bit more where we know that there's more of a financial reward so we can keep doing more of the same thing because this is working really well for any number of our students and we know it can work for even more of them. Oh yeah, the spoiler I gave you before, so that's what it's going to look like going forward, where the shift is going to be away from that FTES, just the headcount number at the beginning, that will be dropping down. The equity piece is going to stay the same, but then the student success piece is where you're going to start seeing that's going to be more heavily weighted as we go forward. So this is good news for us. It's hard to tell what you might be hearing about formula funding, you know, statewide or what you're seeing in any kind of a state reporting kind of venue. But for us here in Barstow, this is really great news, and we're going to be able to accomplish a lot with this.
And there we go, see, yes, we love our funding formula, right? Absolutely. All right, well, thank you very much. If anybody would like to discuss the funding formula in more detail, you know where to find me. So I am going to, at this point, turn things over to Ms. and Melissa Meadows. And Tim Botingen, and Susan Nylander, and Rudy Decay. So before I start into our topic that's on the agenda, AB 705. Oh, yes, pass the one. I want to recognize the work that faculty are doing so that we can actually obtain the funding that's coming our way and the funding formula, the degree attainment, CTE work, and so forth. So if your faculty have been looking a little tired lately, it's because they are working around the clock, and I'm not kidding, 7 days a week. I see their emails till midnight, early in the morning, because they are on aggressive schedule to clean up our curriculum and then realign our certificates, our programs, create new ADTs, clean up our current ADTs, and they're doing all this work for the students of Barstow so that you can have what you came here to obtain, and also for the college and for the region. So can you please give a big round of applause? So my takeaway on this is please hug a faculty member and a counselor today. They could use the encouragement. They're working extremely hard, and I am so proud. I've never seen a group of folks work as hard as they're working. So thank you. In addition, I want to recognize the staff that is surrounding them and helping them do this work. And I don't know if Nancy Olson's here. Is Nancy here? So I want to thank Nancy Olson and many other people who are helping assist the work of the faculty going forward. So it's a team effort, and you're all to be commended. Not to leave out our deans, Sandy, Penny, and Tim, who are also supporting this effort in multiple ways. So again, team effort, everybody. Now in terms of, what is it you said, Brenda, the gift? This is a gift? What a gift. Okay, what a gift, AB 705. Now, it is a gift, actually. AB 705 is a student success measure that, I'm not going to read from the slides, I'm just going to talk, and then Melissa's going to have to determine where I am that it's really a team effort. AB 705, in case you don't know, is the measure that says assessment is going away and students cannot be placed in below-level college courses. They must be placed in college-level courses in English and math, and ESL is coming along behind this, and they must complete in 1 year. And studies have shown that through the years, colleges, including Barstow, because this is what we do, we assess students, we place them, and sometimes they place 3 levels below college level courses, and they never make it out. It gets discouraging, they never get out, they never make it to the college level. So many years ago, the chancellor, our current chancellor, in Long Beach decided we were going to pilot no assessments. So when I say that, we were still assessing through the basic assessment test that we are currently using that's going away, and we did multiple measures. And we showed great success in that effort. And so our chancellor, who was the college president at the time, has decided system-wide this is the way to go. Because I worked in that system, I'm not as afraid of it as most, and because we've been piloting it here through the Barstow College Promise with our students with great success, which Melissa will show you, we're not afraid of it either. But I need people to understand, because it is shocking when you finally realize, as of December, there is no more assessment test. We will not be doing assessment. So essentially what this also sort of negates is basic skills, right? Excuse me, because what if a student is supposed to be at college level, we're not utilizing some of the basic skills measures either. This is also shocking.
So for all of you, you're gonna start to see a difference in the schedule of classes because you're not gonna see the classes that you're traditionally used to seeing. At Barstow, we've been scheduling what I call for failure. And I don't mean this negatively, I just mean it as an honest assessment. We've been scheduling 90% of our math classes at either college level non-transferable or below college, and 70% of our English courses at below college level. That goes away. So you're gonna hear from all the folks that are standing up here how we're addressing this. We're gonna address it different and more creative than any other college I've heard so far, and I've been checking with my colleagues. They're all struggling right now, trying to add concurrent courses, trying to do all kinds of things. We're not doing that. Is the next slide yours? Okay, so I'm gonna just say, we're gonna be really creative and really interesting, and it's a scheduling nightmare, but we can do it. So I'm gonna turn it over to Melissa.
So we're going to talk a little bit about some data that we've collected from our Barstow College Promise cohort, and it has to do with English and math assessment. Our very first cohort for 17-18, we did not use multiple measures for those students. Those students were placed especially just basically on their assessment test. For math, you can see 85% of our students ended up in remedial math. That's anything below college level, and that 14% actually took college, were allowed to take college level courses. For English, we had 80% of our students that placed in remedial English, and 18% were placed into a transfer level English. That was really, really low, okay? And based on the number of students that we had for that cohort, that was 175 students, we placed 140 students in remedial math. We did multiple measure the cohort for Barstow College Promise that's actually taking English and math classes right now. Okay. And at first we actually decided to have them take the AccuPlacer test to see where they were gonna place based on the testing, and then we multiple measured them also and placed them in their math and English classes based on that multiple measure. So out of the 187 students, based on the test alone for math, 181 would have just placed into remedial math just by the test. But once they were multiple measured, 123 students were placed into remedial math. So there was a little bit of a shift there. In college level, just based on the test, 6 of our students, but because we multiple measured them, 64 students got to take math. College level math. For English, we saw a bigger jump. Based on the AccuPlacer test alone, 166 students and 101 that were actually placed into those lower level classes. And of that 101, about 40% of them tested into math 50X. So that means that they will take 50X and then go straight to college level. So they will meet that 1-year requirement for AB 705. We had 21 students based on the test that would have placed college level. Instead, we put 86 students into college level English, so they're taking English 1A. Attempted versus completed. I want to thank Lisa. Is Lisa in here? I love talking to Lisa. I get all my information from Lisa. She is awesome. She actually provided us data on our past 3 incoming high school cohorts based on their attempted taking math and English in their fall semester and what they completed. So our very first, before we started Barstow College Promise, we pulled information on the students that came here directly from the high school, and 16 of those students attempted transfer level math, and only 15 of them completed. For fall last year, 39 took transferable math and 34 completed. This year we have 52 taking transferable math this fall. For English, we started out with 26 with only 20 passing it. Last year we had 40 and 29 that passed the English course. And this year we have 88 students taking college level English out of the Barstow College Promise. So you can see that shift of allowing students to actually take the college level courses and how successful they're being. So I'm going to transfer over to our wonderful, wonderful faculty so they can talk about the new scheduling pattern for English and math.
I think Dr. Kane is probably going to talk mostly about how we're doing the new scheduling, but I will say that AB 705 has been in the works for a few years. The English department, Dr. Furtha, Mr. Booth, me, many of our part-timers, we have been sort of preparing for this for quite a while. We have been part of the California Acceleration Project, which is why we have 50X, which is our accelerated English class. That's one level below transfer, and as of next year, that will be going away, and all of our students will be going into college level English classes. But what we found out, and part of what the California Acceleration Project was all about, was that those exit points, if you came in and you were 3 levels below transfer and you have to take English class after English class after English class, and you have all of these places where you could drop out, we found a lot of people were dropping out. Big surprise, right? And so what we found, though, is once we get students into the transfer level class, they are successful if they have the right kind of support, if they have a lot of support to help them become successful. And so that's really where our focus has been, is to get them into transfer level English class and give them all the support that we possibly can. And part of that is, I think Dr. Kane and Mr. Batangan are probably going to talk more about what the supports that we're putting in place for that. But this has been coming for a long time, and yes, your English department has been working really, really hard. Thank you for everything, all the support we're getting from administration and the help we're getting to go to workshops and creating these classes to help students and give them the support. So Rudy and math people have been working hard too. So I'm going to pass it to Rudy.
So it seems like they nailed everything. They pretty much said everything. But I could talk about the sequencing. For math, we're getting rid of remedial math, including math 101, 50, and 55. Okay, so we're eliminating those, but we are creating sequencing. So as you can see below for math, we're gonna have the first 2 weeks is no class. Okay, and then after that is 4 weeks. We're gonna have 4 weeks refresher courses, non-credit. So meaning students have to enroll to this non-credit 0-unit course. Okay. And then after that, we're going to offer our 12 weeks college level course based on their major. So we're going to offer Math 1, Math 2, Math 5, non-STEM for Math 5. So we're going to create different pathways based on more of their careers. That's it, right? Any questions in regards to math?
So the math faculty have been working very hard as well. I want to just clarify something. We cannot recommend or require that a student take a refresher course or go into the bridge. That's their choice. So the counselors, again, hug a counselor, because the students come to them, they're going to be asking a series of questions. They'll be looking at high school grades. They'll be looking at a series of things and asking the student, where do they feel they need the most help? If the student wants to go right into college level without a refresher course, that's what happens. If the student feels that they need a refresher, we have a scheduling pattern built for that. You also notice that we have 2 weeks of no class on the bottom scheduling pattern that we're piloting in the spring. So if I decide I want to enroll in the 18 unit because I can do it, and in the first week all these flags through Starfish are raising on my behalf, I might decide, oops, I'm not quite ready, I need a refresher, and I can still go and complete in 1 semester. We're piloting this in the spring for math and English. And now everybody has mentioned the supports. You cannot do this work without a lot of support. And I want to say that the Basic Skills Committee has been talking about supports for a long time, and Tim's going to say where we're landing with this type of support.
Okay, hello everybody. As you can tell, we're always talking about support. And obviously with the increasing number of students going right into transfer level math and English and other courses, we need to throw as much support as we can to our students. The good news is we've already started doing this. If you recall, in March of 2018, we had an accreditation visit. And in the accreditation visit, we submitted our self-evaluation report, and the report had a quality-focused essay, which highlighted some of the support that we're going to provide for our students in terms of tutoring, learning support services. So we've already started, towards that end. In fact, I think some of the things that we've started over the last few months, increasing the capacity in tutoring and increasing more tutors, such as our wonderful Kimberly Evans, who was one of our star tutors sitting over there. So, and we're also trying some new programs. In the month of September, we started a student athlete structured study hall for all our student athletes. We started in September with our Starfish referral program that our faculty are embracing. So in September alone, we have increased the capacity and increased the number of students coming in through the computer commons, the tutorial. Actually, in September, we've seen 1,623 students come through in September alone. And that's a huge number of students coming through. Also with help of faculty through the Starfish referral, we've almost doubled in the amount of tutoring sessions we're providing for our students. I think in September we have had 360 tutoring sessions in September, and that doesn't include online tutoring that we provide as well. So what does AB 705 mean for us? Again, we just need to do what we're doing now, but in steroids in a sense. So we need to up our game, and we need to do it fast. So with that said, October, November, December. Okay, we've got 3 months. In 3 months, we will transform the computer commons into a teaching and learning support center. That way, we will continue to enhance what we're doing with our students in terms of non-curricular support. We will collaborate with faculty to provide them even more support to do the things that Dr. Duque and Ms. Island has talked about. So we will be doing that. So I'm looking at Rick over there because we will need to knock down some walls and move some furniture and move some equipment to make room for all of this so that we will be able to provide a comfortable, a welcoming environment for our students and our faculty to come in and do all that. Was that today? So that's the direction. We're gonna, it's a first phase, and as we increase more capacity, as we need more capacity, we'll move on to doing bigger and better things. So thank you.
So I just want to thank Tim for being so aggressive in his approach on this support learning center. And the English faculty have been asking for a writing center for a long time. This is part of the plan. And then the math, they developed NROC, and they've got some things going on. So all this work is happening behind the scenes, but Tim is pulling it all together so that we can open in January for our students as we pilot this new scheduling pattern for AB 705. So, hug a dean today. No, I'm serious. We are moving so fast at Barstow, and I just want to give a shout out to every single person here. Everybody is on board. You can see that this work has deadlines. We must accomplish it. Nobody's complaining. Everyone's tired, but everybody's actually moving very quickly because we must, to be able to support our students appropriately. So again, thank you to everyone. And I want to say none of this works. None of this works without Dr. Bagg's support. And she's on an accreditation visit this week, but a lot of times I know that these ideas have come forward in the past and they've been shut down for whatever reason. She understands completely and wholly that we cannot service our students appropriately and support them in the way that we need to without instituting these, which will cost the district money, but it's worth it to cost the district money to do the right thing for our students. And so some of these 0-unit courses that we're developing, they're funded at a lower level. Putting students into the support learning center, it's funded at a lower level, but we can also gain some apportionment dollars if we're doing this correctly. So faculty that are developing courses, this is phase 3 of development that we must have done, ready to go for January. But again, guys, I can't tell you how proud I am of you as a college and colleagues and peers working as hard as you're working, supporting one another so that we can do this right for our students come January. Okay, so I think we turn this over to Chris and Ed.
All right, it's a pleasure to be here. As we hear about all the things that are happening on the academic side, I know I get a little nervous inside, but wow, what a great group of faculty and administrators we have here and staff. It wouldn't happen without all of them, so thank you. So the first thing I want to talk about is just our sports program. The baseball team is already playing on the baseball field. We had our first scrimmage game, and I don't know what the final score was, but we were way over BBC. The time that I was there, they scored like, I don't know, 15 runs just in one inning. So our team is doing great. We have another scrimmage game with BBC on Saturday, and I know they're going to be looking for blood. So I just wanted to bring this up and mention that it's at 11 o'clock on Saturday, and we need as much support as we can get. So please come and support the baseball team. We also have a Waterwise Festival that's been mentioned a couple times. It's on October 20th. We want to make sure that all students and faculty, everybody's invited. We have flyers on the back table over there. Please pick one up. The whole community is invited. And the grand prize, they're going to have a raffle. The grand prize is a free makeover for a front yard. So 1,000 square feet, they're going to bring in rock and cement and grass and trees and everything and do a makeover for that. There's also free food and a bounce house for the kids and a edible aquifer, all sorts of good things. So some really fun things going to happen on October 20th. Now, I want to give Ed, Will, a little bit of time to talk about things that are going on here in the PAC. And then we'll invite Carrie to come up and talk about things that are happening on campus. And then Rick. Did he leave? Yeah. And Rick's going to talk to us a little bit about shaking things up.
Very good. Thank you, Chris. Got several things that are coming up on your tables. We have flyers to tell you about the ghost story. We have the Knock Rockers coming on October 13 in the evening, but during the day we're having the first annual Ghost Storytelling Festival. And that should be a lot of fun. We've got the first hour filled up already. So if you are interested in telling a ghost story, please fill this out. It was this one, Chris, but that's okay. So anyway, if you have a ghost story, the man with the golden arm, who stole my golden arm, please come and share it with us. Would love to have that. We have It's a Wonderful Life coming up with the Callboard Club and the BCC Theater Arts Department. That'll be in November. On November 25, we have the Popovich Pet Comedy Theater coming in from Las Vegas, and they're going to be performing here in the PAC on Sunday, November 25. They're normally in the Planet Hollywood area, and so it's a Las Vegas show that's coming that we're bringing right here to Barstow. Then we have the Noels coming on the 1st, which is a Christmas show. They sing like the Supremes back in the 50s and the 60s, so that's promising to be a great show. And then we have a special guest on December 8th, a gentleman by the name of MC Magic and Little Rob, gonna bring in some Latin hip hop. So that's on our website, barstowpac.com, but if you get lost, it's barstow.edu. Click on Buy Tickets Here. All right, thank you.
guys. So just really quick, we're going to be having a couple of events on campus. For the first two events, we're working with ASG to do them. The first one is going to be Scare Your Stress Away, and these two are also on October 31st. This is going to be Scare Your Stress Away, and this is going to be an event it's going to be campus-wide. So it's going to be for our students, our faculty, our staff, so pretty much for everyone. And we're going to have a costume party, a costume contest, sorry. A costume contest, and the first place winner will be $100, and then we'll have 2 mystery prizes. So get ready, guys. And then the second is the department competition, and the winner will be getting Krispy Kreme donuts for the entire department. And that is going to be, so pretty much we're just unleashing Disney villains. So that means that it's like the theme, so it doesn't have to be a villain, it just has to be a Disney world, and it could be the extended universe, so anyone that Disney has bought out, so Star Wars, etc. You can choose your department. You don't have to dress up, it is highly encouraged, and we're hoping that we're gonna get enough student volunteers to judge, that way it remains impartial. And then lastly but not least, I really want to, especially for the teachers and the faculty, to remember we do have the October 11th, the True to You event, and author and celebrity activist Darnell Moore is going to be our guest speaker, and we're gonna have books for our students so they can have them signed. It's gonna be awesome. Please let your students out early so they can come to this event. It would be really, really wonderful. Thank you.
Hi everybody, how you doing? I am not Little Rob. You can introduce as Little Rob. But anyways, 10/18 at 10/18, which is this month on the 18th. At that time, get ready to shake out. That time again, you guys. Where it's everybody gets together across nationwide and simulates a great shakeout, which is an earthquake. Everybody's going to participate at that time on that date. We participate to the level of evacuating our classrooms, getting down to an evac center. There's been some emails, or there will be some emails coming out from now until that time that'll show you your evac areas. It'll come from Ken Young, one of our HVAC guys here that really participates and helps me out in this process. This is go to the website, Great Shakeout. It'll give you videos. It'll let you know that there's some alternatives for even ADA evacuations. Under table doorways is an option for ADA because a lot of those questions come back to us. You know, I'm handicapped, I'm ADA. How do I participate? There's good detailed videos for that on that website. What else can I tell you that I don't want to surprise you? It's really hard because I don't want to give you too much detail. I want you to react like as if the event was actually happening. So it's a drop, it's a cover, and then it's evacuated, and all this hinges on what Chris is part of this as well, is our Viking alert, which is on one tab away from our homepage to sign up. So I encourage you, I want to headlock you into signing up, please, for the Viking alert. Because that's going to let you know that it's the simulation, the activity is going on at what time. It's going to let you know to come back to campus. It's that via mode of information what we use to communicate for all emergencies. We closed down last year. I can't remind you, the water went out. 2 days or a day. I think it was minimized to 2 days. Can't remember. That was our main mode of communication, was the Viking alert, to let you guys know and us as cabinet and faculty and staff when that event was over. So please, 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 one click away from homepage of our website, sign up for Viking alert, put your carrier number, your phone number, your cell phone number, and you'll alert you to any, and if not this event as well as others. Any quick questions? I know there's always questions to this, and if not, it's so cool. Now I hope Tim gets his construction done before this event, because obviously construction. We'll take the walls down, so we're gonna isolate it. Okay, thanks you guys. Thanks.
Real quick to add on to Rick's information about the Great Shakeout, we're going to also take that opportunity to test our new phone system, our intercom system from our new phones. And so, and then also the PA system on top of this building to see how that's working. So it'll be kind of we'll be checking all kinds of things on that day. So thank you very much for your participation.
We'll see if we've never even used the PA. So we're pretty excited to see if it all works and comes together. But thank you all for coming. Make sure that you get your ice cream sundaes if you haven't already had them. We don't want that ice cream to go to waste. And thank you all for being here.